something that I've learned about the art of filmmaking is that you don't have to know all of the classics and study all of the classics just to know what it takes to make a classic. And I think that that is the sort of underlying truth about any art form, is that you don't have to go and study everything that's already been done. Like, you don't have to go and study the greats in order to know what it takes to be great. I think it can help, and I think it can enlighten you on certain processes and perspectives and approaches, and, you know, give you guidance, but I don't think you need it. I really believe that the universe will give you everything that you need in order to be successful. And sometimes that just may not be in a traditional way. That may not be you going to school. That may not be you taking lessons or going to college or getting an acting coach or studying the classics. I apologize for all of the loud background noises. I'm legitimately sitting outside of the Waffle House right now. And I'm not going inside because I don't eat the Waffle House. I don't eat really breakfast food. But, you know, I just wanted to talk about this because I just watched I came across this interview. Less of an interview, more of a conversation between two filmmakers, and they were talking about all of the movies that they watched in order to like prepare for creating their own movie. And I just thought that was very, very interesting, because I feel that that's beautiful and I love that. It's just that for me personally, I find that sometimes it just doesn't work. I feel like sometimes I can't just go back and just go find and discover all of the classics, because I just don't think that's natural. I don't think it's in my nature to try to go and learn everything that's already been done, because I feel like that knowledge is already within me. I feel like if you know yourself, there's nothing in this world that you wouldn't have some kind of awareness of or preparation for, because I think knowledge of self is the basis of all things, and anything can be built on just the self alone. But you have to know that, you know what I mean? And I think growing up, being under the impression that you have to go to school, you have to learn things in a traditional way so that you have the basic foundation. But what they don't tell you is that the basic foundation is really your faith. If you have faith and you believe that you will always be prepared, that you will always be ready, then I feel like there's nothing that you will want to achieve in your life that you haven't already acquired and obtained the means to achieve it. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why I find myself thinking about college and kind of fantasizing about it just a little bit. And then there are moments where I'm just like, you know what? Why would I waste my time going to learn something that I'm already learning in my own way and my own pace, in a way that's natural to me? When it comes to music and it comes to film and it comes to art and it just comes to creation in general, I like for my inspiration to find me by way of natural means, to find me by way of divine intervention, rather than me going out of my way to simply go and learn a lesson that, you know, somebody said can only be learned if you watch this movie, or it can only be like learned if you go and listen to this song or go and find this classic, or you know what I mean? I just think there's so many preconceived ideas and beliefs surrounding how to educate yourself. But I think there's infinite ways to educate yourself. Sometimes you don't even need to do or go anywhere or take any action to educate yourself. Sometimes all it takes is just a moment of silence, and next thing you know, you have a revelation that just completely unveils an entire configuration of the universe that maybe before that just simple moment of silence you hadn't realized yet. I'm speaking in such vast terms, but I feel like that's where I am right now. I feel as though enlightenment doesn't take logic. I think it can include logic, and I think it can be logical, but I feel that sometimes being impractical is the only way to discover how to use your talents and your gifts and what it is that you already know. You know what I mean? Besides, if I had went to college at like straight out of high school, I would have ended up studying something that I just didn't need to learn, something that's innate, something that's already gifted to me, which I feel, because that I didn't go to college, because I chose not to go to college, it gave me time to actually discover my passions. As a little girl, I wasn't given the space or the time. Personally, I feel like I wasn't given the space or the time to explore my creativity in ways that I am now as a woman. So I'm learning about things that I'm passionate about, that if I had known as a little girl, I'd probably be in a completely different space. But I think, things like that, moments like that, moments, I find that a lot of moments in my adulthood are preparing me for my own journey as a mother. Someone's parking. I didn't know their car is really loud. I apologize. But I'm just going to keep talking. Things like that just prepare me for being a mother. Just making sure that my children are able to explore themselves at a young age so that, they know enough about themselves to not be persuaded by conventional thinking and just the systematic beliefs of society that says, oh, you have to do it this way. Oh, you have had to have experienced or seen this or know this in order to be successful in this, and yada, yada, yada. And most of the time I feel that way about the art of filmmaking and also music, because I don't listen to a lot of music. I really don't listen to music at all. I'm going to be so honest right here. And it's so interesting because I used to listen to music all of the freaking time, but now I rarely really go and listen to an album or an artist. I don't really have a favorite artist right now. I don't really have a favorite song or a favorite album. So music and I, we're sort of in this space where we are giving each other space, because I think I've just been on this wave with filmmaking, where I've been overcoming this insecurity where I'm really young. So there are a lot of movies that I haven't watched, and there are also a lot of films that I just wasn't introduced to, because there's not a lot of people who are interested in the filmmaking process or, are really passionate about movies the way that I am. So it's just a journey of discovering the films that I need to watch in order to understand how to communicate my personal ideas. And I think that that's really what I'm trying to get to, is that sometimes the universe will only give you the art or the artist or the inspiration that you need in order to help you articulate what it is that you need to say, and it may not be, I feel like it's more so about communication and teaching you how to communicate in a way that helps you express your meaning and express your intentions. And sometimes that doesn't mean you going back and studying all of the classics or going back and reading all of the books and, learning all of the ancient knowledge and wisdom. And sometimes it just doesn't come that way. And I feel like in order to be here in the moment of now and truly be progressive, you have to be willing to allow for that guidance to find you on its own time. And that's where I am. That's where I am mentally. Like, the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, the guidance, it's going to find me in its own time. I'm not about to just go and run into the past and try to catch up with society, because I can't do that. I have to keep going. I have to make sure that I'm here, that I'm present in the moment, that I am also aware of the future and in that same manner, you know, there's balance, and I'm equally as aware of the past, but I'm not living there. I'm not traveling there on purpose, you know, consciously trying to catch up with what the world knows.